FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and today is March 6th, 2017. Well, you've been listening for a while. You probably heard the person about to be on, Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek. You find him at thelandgeek.com. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback on this show or any others, just send me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Mark, welcome back, and it's great to have you on.
Thanks, Kerry. I really appreciate it.
Hey, so I was looking at your website, and I came across a story here. Your co-host, Scott Todd, said in his first 12 months, he was able to buy 68 properties. And
right.
It's a pretty amazing story here.
No, it's amazing. He's been doing it 2 years. His first 12 months, he bought and sold 68 properties. His second year, he sold over 197 properties, working about 2 hours a week in the business. And, you know, his motivation was really high because he was working as a Fortune 300 executive, and he could see the writing on the wall with his department. They'd fired the CEO. They got a whole new management team in, and he knew that he had to start looking for something else because he could see like the new management team was probably going to start outsourcing his team. He was managing about 150 tech people at the time to India or somewhere overseas, right? So he had tremendous motivation to figure out a way to protect his family and secure his future so that they wouldn't be, you know, completely devastated if and when he got fired. So he starts working part-time in land investing. He's working full-time as a Fortune 300 executive. And sure enough, about, you know, maybe I think 15 months in to his part-time land investing, he did get fired. Huh. And it took him 17 months and 3 days for the land investing to replace his Fortune 300 income. So now he's doing it full time, just like me. Wow. And he makes more money now with land investing than he does at his Fortune 300 job with way higher quality of life. Him and his wife have lunch every day. He's on his boat in Florida, and he's only working 3 counties. I mean, it's crazy.
Is that right? Only 3 counties?
Only 3 counties.
And how old is he, by the way?
He's 45.
Wow. 45, huh?
45 and semi-retired.
So he's not getting ulcers anymore, huh?
No, I mean, it's an amazing quality of life because now he kind of works with when he wants, with whom he wants, where he wants. All he needs is an internet connection and he can do deals. It's really the best passive income model I can think of in that sense because he can travel with his laptop with his family and run this business. But what he's done is he's using automation tools because he's 90% automated now. He's hired an acquisition manager. So he's just managing. He looks at reports. So how many offers do they make? How many deals are pending? How many deals do they close? How many deals do they sell? And just wants to make sure things are running smoothly.
So
like a true entrepreneur.
Yeah. Is he better at this than you are, you think?
Well, he is. It took me 18 months to be able to quit my investment banking job. So he beat me on that sense. And we did have a competition last year who would do more deals. Now, I did 192 last year. He did 197. That being said, my enterprise value was a lot higher.
Yeah.
But number of deals, he did beat me by 5. I think that he is definitely, his skill set is really, really impressive. And I guess I would say that he is better than me in the sense that his learning curve was way faster than mine.
Interesting. And it sounds like he had some skills from his prior job that carried over into this that made it a lot easier for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was already involved in tax lien investing, so he already had a list, and he knew how lists worked. He knew how to buy a tax lien certificate. Mm-hmm. So he did have some prior knowledge in doing that, and then he had all this tech knowledge that I didn't have coming in. He's even geekier than me. And, he didn't start with a lot of money. I mean, he only started with $1,000, but he was able to build that up and build that up and build that up. And now he's my co-host.
Mm-hmm. So he started with $1,000 basically. And yeah. But he bought 60 something parcels the first year.
Well, when he says buy, he bought and sold. So
Right.
he buys
Flip
one,
them.
sells one, buys one, sells two.
Yeah.
Takes that money and reinvests.
Just like the one I told you, she bought 2, made 17,000, and then she bought 5. I don't know where she's at right now, but basically, yeah, you're not holding on to these. You don't fall in love with these places, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I have no passion for the raw land I buy. Absolutely.
Unless it was 10 acres on the beach someplace and you said, oh, I'm going to build a house there. But obviously,
Yeah, I mean, then I might do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But we're not talking about that.
No, not at all.
No, these are just building lots. I mean, if they're in like Lee County, Florida, they might be half acre, quarter acre, an acre, but they're
correct.
A lot of them don't even have, they have no infrastructure. A lot of them, they just, they might be on a road. They got access to electric and that's like it. You got to put in septic and, water, got to dig a well, but they really have no infrastructure.
No. And that's why they're so inexpensive.
Yeah. But if you get one that's got water and sewer, then it's worth a lot more. Obviously, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, these same lots back in the day were selling for $25,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
Now you can pick them up for $5,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, I know. I've looked at a number of them. So Florida is a good place. And you, like you always say, you're looking in the Southwest, because nobody's saying, gee, I want to live in Buffalo, New York, because I love winters there so much.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless you live in Buffalo, New York, you're not interested in raw land. So you want the largest buyer pool possible. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the country's going from north to south, obviously. The boomer is retiring 10,000 a day, and they're, hey, we get wimpy and we want to be in warmer climes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Interesting. So, and no shortage of takers here, huh?
No, not at all. I mean, I've been doing this since 2001. I've never been stuck with a piece of property because, I mean, look, if you buy any asset 20, 30 cents on the dollar, there's someone on the other end of that deal. I mean, I've bought problem lots that I thought were a problem on the side of a mountain and still sold them. I mean, Scott Todd bought a mud pit. The guy wanted a mud pit. He wanted to take his Jeep out there and ride around in a mud pit. And he made $15,000 of what he thought was a huge due diligence mistake.
A mud pit, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who wants a mud pit?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is there's a pig for every barn. I mean, even if you buy
seed for every ass,
swampland, you can grow shiitake mushrooms. There's a market for every piece of land.
Or some other kind of mushrooms. So yeah,
exactly.
Amazing. So you've always been able to sell this land, huh?
I've always been able to sell it 30 days or less.
So the turnover, huh?
Yeah, you want your money to keep moving. You want velocity. Mm-hmm. You don't want to hold on to these properties.
Yeah, so that's it. So no emotional attachment whatsoever. So
no, not at all. I mean, the key is you got to price it irresistibly. So do easy terms. Make it a car payment. $1,000 down, $249 a month, 9.7%. No credit checks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So anyone can buy it, right?
Anybody can buy it. Yeah. And then with the loangeek.io, we created our own automation software so we can manage these people's notes. We can take ACH and credit cards. So it's a one-time set it and forget it. Even the people listening to this that have rental income, check out loangeek.io. It'll save you a lot of headache.
Yeah.
And a lot of money, actually.
Sure.
Because, the software out there, it's either super expensive or super crappy.
Yeah. It never gets you exactly where you want to be. I mean, I've wound up in my younger days, I was writing a lot of software because there was never software that did exactly what I needed it to do. So, I always wound up writing the stuff as a result. So interesting.
It's a great skill to have, Kerry Lutz.
Yeah, well, not so much anymore because I never made the transition to the web, but it sure helped me a lot in my other businesses. So, so interesting. So he made the transition, and now he's doing it all from home or wherever he might be, huh? Yeah,
he does it all from home.
So what do you think is the ideal number of properties to flip in a year?
I think it's a personal thing. There's some people that are really happy making, $2,000 extra every month in passive income. Mm-hmm. And that might take 10 deals, right? Mm-hmm. There's other people that want to replace a Fortune 300 income. That might take 100 deals. It just depends on what your motivation is and what your goals are. And, I've got a friend who's been doing this longer than me. He's at $250,000 a month in passive income.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I've got another friend who's at $80,000 a month passive income. I've got other people that, just start out and they're super happy making, a mortgage payment, maybe $3,000 a month in passive income. So it just depends.
The one thing people are going to ask is, Mark, you and Scott are so good at this. You've cornered the market. How is there room for me here?
Oh my gosh. So I get that a lot, right? And it's interesting. If you go to a RIA meeting and you look at the room, there'll be 100 people in that room. 99 of them will be house flippers or wholesalers. You'll be the only land guy. There's 3,007 counties. There are billions of acres of land available. And there's like a handful of us doing this. So there's no private equity groups. There's no hedge funds.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real estate investment trusts, because they look at it and they say, oh, it doesn't cash flow. They want cash flowing properties. Even though we make a cash flow with owner financing, they don't do it. So as a result, you, me, a million other people could go in this niche. We'll all run out of money before we run out of deal flow. And I've been doing this, full time since 2001, every year except for 2010. The business has gone up in revenue, and there's more and more people, doing this, but in the end, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, what particular parts of Florida do you like? You don't have to name counties, but
I like anywhere I can buy a lot 23 cents on the dollar.
23 cents on the dollar. Now, when you say that, we talking assessed valuation or market?
No,
value?
Market. So I'll take a look at, let's say, let's say Lehigh Acres, right?
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at recent sales and say, that half acre lot sold for $10,000. That one sold for $12,000. That one sold for $9,000. That one sold for, $15,000, depending on what it is. Well, we might take the mean or we might take the lowest, and we'll just divide by 4. Because when we divide by 4, that gets us a 300% return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want if I have to flip it for cash. Now, I typically want to flip it on terms and make about 1,000%.
Yeah, sure, obviously. And then it really does cash flow at that point. Although when you're holding it for 30 days or less, it really is cash flowing at that point. When you're making a 300% profit, it's really, even though it's a misnomer to say it's cash flowing real estate, if you sell it in 30 days or less, it really is cash flowing. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I mean,
if you can turn your money over 4 or 5 times in a year, that's pretty good.
So you go and you like Zillow it or whatever, or you go look at the property appraiser site and you kind of come up with the valuations at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the best place to go is even just call the county assessor directly and just ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, everything in Florida is online. That's one of the best things about the state. Every record you could imagine. Actually, I don't really like it because there's a lot of stuff I don't want about myself online here, like voter records, all this stuff. So I've just moved everything to a P.O. box, which you are allowed somewhat to do. They don't like you having your voter registration at a PO at a UPS store, but hell with it. I don't want really some whacked out listener who doesn't like the fact I'm a libertarian saying, "Oh, that's where he lives." Okay,
right, yeah, exactly.
But praise people. But it's interesting that it's all just out there for you. So, how long does the course take to complete? By the way.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of information in there. It depends how your learning curve, and how quickly you go through it. I'd say it's a good week to 10 days.
Week to 10. Yeah. So that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hey, it's quicker than taking a course at a college or community college and something that's not going to make you any money. It's not going to make you any money. It's just going to cost you, right?
Right.
It's just going to cost you thousands of dollars. Think about how much credits cost. When I went to college, a credit was $100, and a course was 3-4 credits, 300-400. Now it's 3,000-4,000,
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, insane. So yeah, interesting. And hey, what about these liens that pop up, municipal liens and stuff? I mean, that's a big problem with this stuff when the guy hasn't cut his grass in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, don't buy those properties.
Yeah.
I don't buy anywhere where there's municipal liens.
I mean, that's the biggest risk, isn't it? Because foreclosures don't get rid of them in most states or in a lot of states.
Right.
So, all right. So Scott's a happy guy now, huh?
Scott's a happy guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they can outsource him out anytime they want, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he's free. It's amazing. When you look at your life, you're either a slave or you're free. Yeah. And you've got to come up with a plan to make yourself free.
Yeah, well, working for the company for 20, 25 years, going away and getting that gold watch and everybody pat you on the back, that career model doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't a great model to begin with, honestly. Not a lot of personal growth in that model, staying in the same spot 20 years, maybe you make more money, but at the end of the day, are you really happier?
No, definitely not. And a lot of people, these people always said, I want my kid to go to college and, graduate and, do more than me. Most of those people working in the factories, whatever, in the blue collar jobs always wanted their kids to go to college. Now, maybe that wasn't the best model either, right?
Right.
But it seemed to be the way to go. So, hey, we've got a free training that people can go to, and they can also get a discount if they buy something. We got to tell them where to go here, Mark.
Yeah, so if they just go to the landgeek.com/free-training and then go through the free web class, and if you want to learn more and you want to get the actual course, just let us know that you found us from Carrie Lutz. Email support@thelandgeek.com. We're going to give you $100 instantly off the course purchase.
Yeah, and we'll have that link in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. You just have to click it. It'll take you right there. It's definitely very worthwhile. It doesn't cost you anything to go there. And then, just email support@thelandgeek.com if you want to take the course. You get $100 off. Well worth your time. Mark, it's always great to talk to you. So thelandgeek.com, go there, and landgeek.com/free-training. And Mark, we will talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, Carrie. Appreciate it.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.